Well, hello, welcome back to Full Circle Angling. Today we are out and about, away from home this time, over in southwest Scotland, and we are bass fishing today. We've got a lovely sunny day, which unfortunately doesn't spell good bass conditions. Good for the bass tan, but not so good for the fishing, makes it a bit harder. What we have got in our favour is an absolutely howling southwesterly wind, which is coming straight up the bay, kicking the sea up, causing all sorts of problems. Now, it's obviously going to make casting a little bit difficult, but I've chosen a spot where I'm hopefully going to have the wind a little bit over my shoulder when I'm casting to try and give us a bit of shelter. What it is doing, it's stirred the sea up. I've got a little bit of a rolling swell, maybe a couple of foot, and I can see a little bit of colour in the water, which is exactly what I want, because I figure that that little bit of swell is going to disturb the water, it's going to oxygenate the water, it's going to dislodge any crustaceans, crabs, it's going to panic the small fish, which I think makes it easier for the bass to come in and ambush the prey. And as I'm looking now, there's a couple of gannets. They're well out of casting distance, but they're diving around there, so there must be bait fish out there. In terms of the gear, I've got the usual trusty Tailwalk 8'7" rod, rated, what's that rated? 5 to 24 grams. Got the Stratic 3000 loaded with 20-pound Avani braid from Veals. Really good stuff. Not the cheapest, but it's really nice. Casts very well. You want to invest in good braid for bass fishing, definitely, because when you're casting lighter lures, if you're using braid that's not great quality, it doesn't enhance your fishing experience. Now, in terms of lures, you might have seen in a previous video, I am a massive feed shallow, Tackle House feed shallow 105 fan. I just carry 3 with us, dark, slightly lighter, and a pearly white one, depending on the conditions. Today, however, because of this wind, I'm going to be going with another old favourite, which is the IMA Hound Glide 125F. You can see I've taken one of the trebles off this, and I've gone for a bright cotton candy pattern, which sort of looks like it should belong in a kid's sweet shop, but it doesn't. It belongs here. The reason I've gone for this lure is because typically bright conditions, I like to use a brighter lure. Darker conditions, I'll use a darker lure, because I think if a fish is looking up on a darker day, a darker image is going to stand out in silhouette more. Hence you use a black lure if you're fishing in darkness and there's a lot of moonlight. I think that this lure, bright conditions, will create a good amount of flash. It's got a really nice, it's quite a tight wobble this, but it creates a good amount of flash, and it's quite erratic, the action, which I'm hoping is going to imitate the sand eels and whatever else the bass out there might be chasing. Also, because of the wind, this lure, I think these are 19, maybe 20 grams, someone might correct me. These lures, I think, out of the lures I've used, and granted I've not used as many lures as other people, that, to me, is one of, if not the best casting hard plastic lure. I've got that in a couple of different patterns, which I'll keep trying around, but initially we're going to get that out there, start working the water a little bit, and we'll see if we can get one. Apologise in advance about the wind. It is very, very windy today, as I've just said, but I'll do my best. Yeah, I can see there's a little bit of colour in the water here, so when I'm bringing this lure in, I'm just going to have to be a little bit a little bit careful towards the end. Now that wind is creating a hell of a bar with me line. Ground I'm fishing, it's probably mixed. It's quite bouldery with a bit of rackweed on close in, and then further out goes into sand. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of weed far out there. So, as I said on previous videos, absolutely essential to make the effort to clear your lure of weed on every cast, otherwise it'll not work properly in the water and you'll be completely wasting your time. Now if there are any bass here, they will come in close, because that's where things are getting disturbed, close in. That's where the fish and the food will be. They'll be swimming for shelter. Well, fisherman's worst nightmare, yeah. Easily within casting range, I've just seen the seal. Yeah, there he is, straight in front of us. Marvellous. There's one school of thought that says, well, there's definitely food out there because you wouldn't be there otherwise, but I'm not so sure. I'm here now and I'm set up, so I might as well have a couple more casts, but that certainly does not fill me with confidence. Lovely conditions though, nice bit of chop, plenty of colour in the water. What I do have here though is a really bouldery, broken ground, rackweeded area that leads onto a sandy bay. And I've sometimes found in this area that fishing into those areas where clean ground meets rough ground can be productive, because I think the bass might just patrol along the fringes of the rough ground and just go in and slam into any little bit of food that's coming out of that rough ground or that gets dislodged by a wave. In terms of the tide, I'm fishing in ebb and tide. I've got another 45 minutes or so before it's low water. Fishing on a, say, probably medium range tide, so there's a bit of movement. Water's got a lovely murky colour to it for the first sort of 10-15 yards. Don't know if you can see in the camera, hopefully you can, there's a gannet out there. He's just out of casting range, but he's sticking about. In terms of the retrieve, I'm going for a fairly fast retrieve today. And the reason being, I think any bait fish out there that are getting hassled by bass will be swimming about, panicking, frantically swimming about. So I'm hoping that that's what this lure is going to imitate. I'm really not encouraged by that seal, but what can you do? Telltale sign of when there's weed on is because straight away that rod tip will just go a little bit dull and it'll stop vibrating with the action of the lure. That is absolutely flying, that lure. What you find with some plugs, particularly shallow divers, is that when there's a bit of chop, you start winding them and they just skim over the surface. The bib on the face of the... Oh, yes, we've got a fish. Oh, yes, marvellous. Oh, he doesn't feel too bad. Waffling up. Oh, he's taking a bit of line. He is scrapping. Definitely a bass, I think. Oh, he is absolutely slamming it out there. Oh, I've just got to keep him out that weed. Oh, I've just seen him break the surface. Oh, my heart's racing. My heart is racing. Come on. God, he's really going some. He's taking a little bit of line. I just need to keep him out that weed. Come on. He's using the waves to his advantage. I don't think he's a big fish, but he's bloody powerful. Pardon my Scottish. Here he comes. No, he's not a big one. Come on, fella. In you get. Come on. And I just want to position myself behind him so I can get hold of him. Well, well, well. I've just got to be a little bit careful. Where's he gone? And I've dropped my reel into the water. Oh, I nearly lost him there. I nearly lost him. I nearly lost everything. Rod, reel straight in the water. That is not good. Not good at all. But this is the things. These are the things you do to try and show. Oh, I was lucky. I was very, very lucky there. So, first lovely Scottish bass. Not a big fish, maybe £1.25, something like that. He'd be under legal size, I'd think. Absolutely slammed that bright cotton candy lure that I was talking about. Silver flanks. Absolutely superb. Let's get him back. He's away. Bright day, bright lure, plenty of colour, cast like a bullet. Bang, straight in. Had to put the coat on because A, I'm getting a bit cold, and B, I've got a feeling we might be getting a bit of rain in a minute. Just goes to show as well, seals, yes, they do put you off, but they're there for a reason. But the fish are still there. They are still there. Just a cracking couple of foot swell, bit of colour, loads of movement, and bang, straight in. Bass fishing can be exhilarating but frustrating at the same time, because you can stand and fish all day and they might only swim past for those 5, 10, 20 minutes, and it's just about putting yourself there, the right place, at the right time, and getting out, fishing, learning the conditions, understanding when fishes well, when doesn't. And a lot of the time, even experienced bass fishermen, and I'm certainly not saying I'm one of them, but even experienced bass fishermen will still learn equally as much from a blank than what they will from when they catch a fish. So it's only a matter of time before my reel just starts to become a bit more vocal after having that little saltwater bath there. Now, what I've noticed about some lures, I think I mentioned this, I might have mentioned this on the other video. Some lures cast better with a longer drop and a more gentle cast. Others you need to hit them harder. The beauty about these hound glides, in my view, they'll cast straight regardless of how long your drop is and how long you hit them. Around this bay, back of the car, and I just saw this little rocky bit, because I do know down here that it rises up from clean ground. You can see where it's standing there, the water's a lot lighter, and it rises up over this little bit. So I just thought, if I'm passing, it would be rude not to just have half a dozen casts, just in case I'm missing something. Now, the beauty about fishing this little bit here is that it's a bit calmer. Classic bass territory. You can see all this ragweed just hanging proud in the water, just standing up, and you can just see the tops of it. And I know that I can almost cast almost behind us here, because this little spit that I'm standing on kind of pushes out and the water comes behind. So maybe, you never know, maybe if there are any fish coming down following the tide, just skirting along this bay, they might have to come round and then out of here. But it's got to be worth a crack, isn't it? Oh, we've got a fish. I don't believe it. Oh, he's a good one as well. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, he's not a bad one. Oof, he's pulling. God, he is pulling hard. No, I do not want to lose him. He's a good fish, he's staying down. He's staying really, really deep there. He's not... Is that a bass, right? I've got to be a little bit... Oh, he's digging and digging. I've got to be a little bit careful because I've got a feeling... Oh, he's trying to get into that weed. Yep, he is a bass. Now this is very, very nervy. Come on, fella. Come on, just need to bring you gently up to the rocks. I tell you what, these Scottish bass don't half scrap. Just use that wave to get them up. Right. Oh, he's a better one. He is a better one. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting excited. Just want to get you right up out of the way. I've got to be a little bit careful here because, yeah, he's out. Oh, he's a nicer fish. He is a nicer fish. Right. He's going to do me some damage if I don't handle him properly, that's for sure. Beautiful. He'll easily go £2, him. Beautiful Scottish bar of silver. Just smash that lure along the weed line, just where it meets the sand, as I was saying before, on the Nabarone. Lovely broad fish, so powerful as well. I thought he was going to give us another run, but he was quite well behaved. Absolutely perfect. Look at that. They're just the perfect fish, aren't they? Right, I'm going to revive them and then get them back. Get in. Well, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. That's my best bass so far in 2022. And just goes to show, like I was saying earlier, like I said before, bright day, bright lure, natural pattern, loads of silver flash. That's what you want. Well, that's all from me on the bass front from Scotland. Clear water, sunlight, loads of wind, spray. Not the easiest. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Get out there, give it a crack. Tight lines and keep fishing. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.